Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed making bubble bombs with me yesterday. Today we're going to be making catapults. A catapult is a really old medieval weapon that they used to throw rocks really far. And today I'm going to show you how to make a catapult with just using popsicle sticks and elastics. It might seem really complicated, but it's actually really easy. And I'm also going to be talking to you about how just like catapults can throw things really far, sometimes, and how that connects to the words we use and say.
The materials you'll need to make these catapults are 12 popsicle sticks, 3 elastics, a bottle cap, and some glue, and some things that you will launch with the catapult. I used marshmallows, and you can just use other small things. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a popsicle stick and a bottle cap, and we're just going to add a little bit of glue onto the end of our popsicle stick, and we're going to use that to attach our bottle cap. And our bottle cap is what's going to hold whatever you want to shoot with the bottle cap. And what's really important is that you leave a little bit of space at the end of your popsicle stick. So that way you have something to pull down on. And as you can see here, I also used hot glue. If you get permission from your parents, you can use hot glue as well, as that will just help make sure that the bottle cap stays connected to the popsicle stick when you're using your small little catapult. As it's also really important that you do the same and allow there to be something to pull down on. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the rest of your popsicle sticks and you're going to put one off to the side and you're going to combine them and make them all into a nice neat pile. This will take some time to get used to and just getting them all stacked and nicely lined up. It's really important that all your popsicle sticks are the same size or else it'll make this a lot harder. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your first elastic and you're going to wrap it around the end of the popsicle sticks. And what you're going to do is you're going to loop it on the end and then you're going to twist the elastic. It's going to take a couple tries. You're going to twist the elastic and then you're going to pull that new loop over the end of the popsicle sticks. And you're going to do this until the elastic gets really tight and you can't pull it and twist it anymore. This will make sure that all the popsicle sticks stay nice and tightly together. And now that you've completed that, what you're going to do is you're going to take another elastic and you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. This side should be a little bit easier since all the popsicle sticks are being held together by the other elastic. Now that all our popsicle sticks are nicely held together, what we're going to do is we're going to take our last popsicle stick and we're going to place it in between the bottom two popsicle sticks in our stack. As you'll see here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pry the bottom two popsicle sticks as best I can with my fingers. Or what you can use is you can use the popsicle stick that you're putting in just to help squeeze it in there. This can be really hard as the elastics will want to keep your 10 stacked elastics really close with each other. So if you need to ask someone for help, that is a-okay. And once you get it in, you're going to put it in the middle, and so you kind of make this little cross shape. Once you've made that little cross shape, you're going to want to take your last elastic and the popsicle stick with the bottle cap attached. And what you're going to do with this elastic is you're going to attach it to the bottom of this popsicle stick as you see what I'm doing here. And you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to loop it on and then you're going to pull, you're going to twist, and you're going to keep doing this over and over again. You don't want the elastic to be super tight, but you don't want it to be loose and have it be able to fall off. Now it's time for one of the harder parts of building this catapult, and that is attaching the arm of the catapult that's holding our basket, which is the bottle cap, and attaching it to the rest of our catapult. So what you want to do is you're going to pull it there, and you're going to pull the elastics up and over the elastic bands. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that the elastics, the top arm that's holding the basket, will come out in front of that. As you see, I didn't do it there. And now what you're going to do is you're going to push forward the big stack, and there you'll have it. You'll have your catapult that you've made. It's important that when you go to fire it, that you hold it down, as it'll help it make it go farther. And be careful, because sometimes the arm will fall of out of the catapult. If this happens, that is a-okay. Now I'm going to show you how to construct a bit more of a complicated catapult. This one will take some more time and a lot more patience than the other one. It'll take some time to get used to how to connect the popsicle sticks with elastics, but once you get the hang of it, it'll become a lot easier. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to take an elastic and put it around a popsicle stick and just set it off to the side. Now what you're going to do is we're going to be making a square of popsicle sticks. And we're going to be wrapping around the elastic around the popsicle sticks like a piece of rope. And instead of having to knot the elastic afterwards, we'll just loop it around the popsicle stick. So you can see I'm just looping it around the popsicle stick, and then I'm pulling it around like a piece of string. And you're doing this on all four corners until you end up with a square. Again, it takes some time getting used to, and it'll just take a lot of some practice. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take two popsicle sticks, and we're going to connect the two of them at the top, making a bit of a triangle without the bottom piece. You want them to be about the width of the bottom of your triangle. But before we attach it, what you're going to do is you're going to take that thick elastic that we wrapped around a popsicle stick, and you're going to connect it going across. Now you're going to place your first triangle bit at the bottom of the section, and you're going to twist it around and connect it to the bottom, as you can see. And you're just going to rinse and repeat and do that on the other side. Again, this will just take some time and patience, and it's okay if it takes you a while to get. And so once you have them all attached, what you're going to do is you'll be able to attach the arm of the catapult. And so what you're going to do is you're going to slide that into the elastic. And what you want to do is you want to rotate it around 2 or 3 times, so that way it can have a lot more power. And in my plans to try and make the catapult with the thing that will fly the farthest, if you want an easier route as well, you also do this with hot glue or just regular glue as well if you want, instead of trying to do it with elastics. So as you can see here, I'm just taking the same steps and the same process to make sure to construct the catapult. The only difference is that you see here that I'm measuring out the 2 popsicle sticks that stand up. I'm making sure that they will fit in within the square that I've created. Other than that, it'll be the exact same thing. It's really important to remember when you're attaching these parts to the catapult is that you want to make sure that the hot glue dries and has an opportunity to dry before you add the bar across, the popsicle stick that goes across, that will hold the arm of the catapult. It's also really important that when you are gluing the arm of the catapult on, that you are not gluing the elastic on. So one way to get around this is that you can just take the elastic off the popsicle stick and just wait until the glue's dried on, and then you can put the elastic back on. It's also really important that for these two other designs that you have a thicker elastic that'll be holding the arm. And again, when you put the arm in, you're going to want to twist it around to give it some strength. Once I finished it, I went to try it, and as you see, the marshmallow went straight into the table. This is because catapults rely on a stopping force for the object to fall out of the basket. And so to solve this problem, what I did was I glued on a second popsicle stick on the arch, as you can see. And that way it stops the arm coming up and it forces the object in the basket to come out and fly across. And if it wasn't for this arm, the marshmallow would just fly straight into the ground every single time. Now that we've done building all our catapults, we're going to try and test them up against each other. So A and B are the first catapult that we made. The difference between A and B is that B only has 5 stacks and 5 popsicle sticks in its stack, whereas A has 10, and C was made with all elastics, and then D was the one that I made with hot glue. While doing experiments, it's really important that you give everything a fair shot and equal opportunity. So that's why with each catapult, I shot and measured 5 marshmallows each. In the background now, you'll see me doing all of those. And in the top left corner, and sometimes in the top right, you'll see the distances. All these distances are in centimeters. That's another thing that's also really important about when doing um, experiments and measuring things. You got to make sure that you're just doing them in the same unit. So you're probably wondering how all this connects to the Bible. Well, the Bible talks to us about how we need to be encouraging and loving to everybody. And this is shown by the catapults because the catapults are like our mouths, and the marshmallow is like our words. We are always saying something out to people, or we're right, and we're always talking things. We're just kind of always throwing our words out there. And it's really important that we're aware of what words we're saying because those words have the ability to knock people down, and those words also have the ability to lift people up. So it's really important that we're always aware of what we're saying because it can make a really big impact on those people around us. As you can see, D went the farthest and B went the shortest distance. It's hard to compare A and B to C and D just because they're so different in style, but that's okay. You can see that A and D went the farthest, and D went over 100 centimeters farther than any of the other ones. This shows us that D is the better design. It also says that being able to connect things with more than just elastics probably makes a fairly big difference.
I hope you enjoyed making catapults with me today. I know I've really enjoyed making them and just playing with them. One thing I do want to challenge you guys to do at home is to make changes to your catapults. Some of those changes could be as simple as changing what you're launching, whether it's mini marshmallows or raisins, or maybe you trying something different. That's up to you. Also, another change you can make is changing the size of the bottle cap that you use. Find out what happens because of that. Also, I think it's also really important that we remember why we did this. Like I was talking to you before earlier, catapults are like our mouths, and the things we shoot are like our words. Sometimes they can tear people down or they can build people up. I think it's really important that we remember this because the Bible tells us that we need to be loving and caring to everybody around us, even if we don't want to be sometimes. So, I also challenge you is want you to think of ways that you can bring joy or happiness and how you can send that out into the world. Whether it's using your words or if it's doing it in a different way. It could be simple as playing with your younger siblings, helping out your parents with making dinner or unloading the dishwasher. It doesn't have to be super complicated. The small things can really make a really big difference. And so I really do hope that you've learned something today and have found this interesting. You can come back tomorrow and we're going to be looking at some of the cool properties of why some things float and why some things don't. And how much can something hold before it starts to sink.